I didn't even realize.
Welcome, everyone. Today we are going to be talking about a money matter. Welcome, everyone, to our series that we've decided to call Money Matters, where we'll be taking an everyday kind of problem, challenge that comes up in a lot of our lives, and talking about how we choose to see it and working through that in our group coaching model as well. Um, we rely on our listeners reaching out to us with questions for this bite sized segment on our podcast, and we'd love to hear back from you as well. So please reach out to us with your questions on our social media. And today's topic is
So we are going to talk about money and family.
ah,
So when you have that family member or even a close friend that asks for money, and when I say asks for money, it's a broad kind of topic, but the specific question that came through was about investing in their opportunity, the business that they'd like to start up. And so what we'd like to cover is really give you that toolkit in terms of how you are able to then process and think through it, because sometimes when someone asks us for money, you're like, oh, what do I say?
yeah.
So today we are going to give you a toolkit to work through.
Okay, let's get into it.
So if someone asks you, right, for money, or you can ask actually.
If someone asks you for money, then what's your first thought? Let's start with that.
I think we all have that impulse thought where you're like, oh no, or oh, what do I say, or I'm not sure. But it's all about just, being present in what you're thinking and feeling. So as soon as you have that thought that, oh no, just take the step back, hear that person out, and say whatever it is that you'd like to say, but walk away with the option to get back later,
Yes.
because that gives you the opportunity and time to really think through it.
Yes.
And
For me, it also really comes down to your relationship with that person in terms of how clear you're able to be. If
yes.
that relationship is very formal, or it might be a close relationship. They might even be your siblings, but sometimes if you don't have the history of having, let's say, a blunt conversation or saying what you feel to them easily, then this could add a lot of pressure to the relationship, which is never a good thing in the long run.
True.
Because there could be instances where you end up investing in inverted commas in their business or their opportunity, and let's say they don't do very well, and then it becomes a question of, oh, you invested and you didn't lend, so do I really owe you money? You invested knowing the risk of this opportunity
Right.
not doing very well, and then it becomes a very difficult conversation, especially if these are bigger funds that we're talking about, or funds that you were depending on for various different things.
Yeah, I agree. So I think to your point, in the first conversation, when it comes up, it's always good to clarify 100% what is this?
Yeah.
Are they borrowing money from you for 6 months? Are they expecting you to become a partner in their business?
Yeah.
What is it? Once you understand the ins and outs of it, walk away from that situation to just get yourself that space to really process it. So if you felt um, taken by surprise in that moment and you felt like, oh no, I don't want to do this, you can actually sit with it and say, why did I feel this way? Is it because I don't have the money? Is it because I don't want to invest? What is it? So you can really explore what that is.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of kind of people might feel. No, let me get my thoughts straight. If it's coming from a place where you think that you have to give it because they've asked it, then that's definitely a red flag for me. And if you think you're coming from a place where you've got the money so you can give it, so why not give it, then that's also a red flag, because we know that there is a concept called opportunity cost.
Yes.
It's just a fancy name for an alternative return you could have had on the same money. So if you were to put it on a fixed deposit, let's say, to keep it really simple, which was earning you a 3%, then if that is your expectation from this investment as well over the period of a year, let's say, then maybe it's okay to communicate that, because the other person is also using you as an alternative
Yeah.
to a traditional lending facility, where the rates would be much higher, sometimes even in double digits.
Yes, exactly. I was just about to say private lending is more like 10 to 12% minimum
Easily,
versus a bank.
easily.
And so I think that it's very clear for what is it that they're asking for and what is it that you want to do. Once you walk away and you think, oh great, I'd like to invest, that's fine. Then that's it. You go back to them, you clarify everything. I would always suggest that you put everything on paper
Yes.
with the terms and everything, even though it might be a really close friend you've grown up with, or some cousin that you've grown up with, or an aunt or an uncle who's helped you in the past. Just put it on paper so you both know what the terms of this kind of arrangement are. If, however, you feel you do not want to invest, then therein lies an opportunity to one, understand yourself better in terms of what your thoughts are. Is it a trust thing? Is it the fact that you're scared that you don't have money? Is it lack mindset in inverted commas? You can actually learn a lot from these situations, regardless
Yeah.
of how stuck we feel in these situations.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Or maybe it reflects back to bad experiences from before that you
Yep.
might want to forgive, forget, and get out of.
Yeah.
But I would like to maybe spend a few minutes to talk about people who are in these situations, who might be in these situations. And I knew some people who didn't earn very much actually and ended up saving from being really kind of, scrupulous with their spending. And they lent to so-called close relatives, and the money was gone. So how do you make peace with stuff like this is a big one. Where do you start if you're in a sticky money situation such as this? Whether it's an example like I've just mentioned from a low income earning sector of the society, or even for people who earn a good amount, but they may have also given or committed a big amount as well. So where can people start in terms of turning things around?
I think where I would start is understanding what happened, firstly, in
Yeah.
the past. What drove it? Was it because the communication wasn't clear? Was it because it was just a risky thing to do, which you thought was fine at the time?
Yes.
Then that's fine. I mean, that is what it is. You've taken a decision, and that's the risk you've taken by doing this,
Yes.
right? So I think it's important to really always understand, think back and say, okay, what were the events that led to this and what's happened since? What can I learn from this? And not get stuck in a loop about it. I should have, because you're here now.
Oh my God, that is so draining and so unfair on ourselves, right? When in the past we've taken a decision with a certain set of information that we had at that time, and a lot of people talk about this set of information, but they don't talk about your emotions at that time. Your
Yes.
emotions play a big factor that I would want to count into the database of everything that was presented to you as circumstances at the time. And then, 5 years later, 7 years, 10 years later, if you're putting yourself in a position of justifying it constantly to yourself, then it becomes a very draining situation. So please deal with yourself with some grace and kindness and give yourself credit for making the decision that you did at the time.
Yeah.
And I think that's the first step.
Because you being stuck in a loop is costing you more than the money you've lost.
Totally.
Ultimately, time and energy is a
Money.
much bigger commodity than money, even in that's how I think of it now.
100%.
Where
Yeah.
I value my time and energy a lot more than I do money at this stage in life.
Yeah.
And that's not because I've become a millionaire overnight where I don't have to think
No.
about it, but it's just more the day-to-day stuff. So, like you said, deal with yourself with a lot of love and kindness, and it's okay. We only know what we know in that moment, and we always make the best decision based on the knowledge that we have at the time.
And it was done with an intention to take risk for a promised reward or a projected reward at that time. So there was no way of us having the hindsight that we have right now. So I think I have done this to myself quite a lot. So I'm speaking from experience, I suppose. But please try and not get into that loop because it
Yes.
only leads to a lot of waste of energy. And that waste of energy is then keeping you from progressing forwards. And the next thing that I wanted to mention, which really helped me, was in the universe. If you think about it in an energetic way of an abundant universe, there is no money lost. There's never anything that gets lost in the sense that the money, that energy that's gone from you has gone to someone else and it will come back to you in different ways. So I found that a very comforting thought to think about.
Hmm.
And as a part of this, I think it really helped me to think about, instead of spending time and energy on this old money, the old lost money energy, if I could just spend, an iota of the energy that I was spending on this on new money, then that would just lead to so much more abundance and expansiveness.
Yeah, it's not about what's it's not about what went out. It's more about what the
Could come
opportunities and
in.
what could come in, right? So the saying goes, what goes around comes around,
Yeah.
is precisely that.
Yeah, exactly. And the more you're kind of holding up your space with the resentment and the constant justification, the more you block yourself to receiving as well. So
Yeah,
it's
I
a very,
think as part of our group coaching model, actually, I really encourage our listeners to take a moment, pause the podcast, and just close your eyes and imagine a negative situation and really feel it in your body for a good 2 minutes. And just notice how you feel before it and after it. After that, take a positive emotion, an emotion where actually I have so much and I have enough and so much more,
yes.
or any positive feeling or thought, the opposite of what you felt earlier, and just see how that feels in your body, and that will immediately tell you that getting stuck in a loop about anything in life can only take away from you, because it's holding you back. You're spending your current time on something that has happened in the past or could happen in the future. But I mean, the saying goes, the only thing you have is now.
The only measure of time is the
Now.
present moment. So, a lot of us end up spoiling it by staying in the present, past, future, by staying in the past or the future. And I think the one last thing I would want to say is it's okay sometimes for people to listen to such podcasts or listen to motivational speeches, and for that amount of time, they feel very good and they resonate with what's being said. But in day to day life, these thoughts keep coming back as a force of habit. Then that's the work that I think we need to put in terms of maybe changing our thoughts in the time, maybe distracting ourselves. Different things work for different people. Maybe coming back to the present moment. This really works for me. For any negativity, basically, focusing what's happening around me in minute detail, like where am I sitting right now? We're sitting on these comfortable chairs. How does that feel next to my calf? What am I wearing? How does that feel? How does the sound of my own voice right now feel? What can I hear around? I can hear the AC going. And just really coming back to the present resolves so much energy out, because then you're not resisting the energy that you don't want to play out in your life, but you're finding yourself back in.
Exactly, because when you resist, what happens? It
Persists.
actually persists in a more magnified way each time. And
Exactly.
so if you just let it be, it will go. You're releasing it. So I think, this conversation became something about mindfulness versus the topic we initially started off with. But I think it's such an important one because it helps you release the past in matters of the money and otherwise. And also it helps you kind of deal with new situations that arise. When someone's asking you for money, you're actually taking that space. And if you're getting overwhelmed and anxious, you can do this exercise too, right? Where you're like, let me just take a deep breath, come back into the present moment, be level-headed about it, and then say, okay, now what do I want to do?
Yes.
Be fully prepared for the person may come back and say, be anxious about it in terms of why you've not supported them. They may be upset, they may be happy, whatever it is. That is secondary to what you would like to do.
Yes, very much so. And it became a conversation about mindfulness also because this was a pretty recent, I would say, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I was introduced to the idea that money is 100% energy.
Yes.
Which I was like, what are you saying? And I'm a finance numbers girl. And I was like, that just doesn't make sense. No, money is numbers, money is logic.
It's in your bank.
No, it's not. No, it's not. We were talking about some statistics about what 78% of money is actually on screens, and only the remaining 22% is physical cash in the world. So, if it's showing up in your bank statements and you're not holding it, it is the energy. It's the energy of how the bank statement makes you feel. Whether it's making you feel rich or poor, that
Yeah.
depends. And the same amount could make different people feel rich or poor.
Yeah.
So, all of these are proofs that money is total energy. And coming back to our money matter for today, if that energy is not easy and happy, joyful in terms of lending to your family, I think that's enough reason to not go into it.
Yes, agree, agree.
So, with that, we bring this episode to an end. Please do reach out to us with your questions. We'd love to hear from you, especially with this context, especially in this context.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Great.
Look at us.
Can I say you?